So if you just got a new iPhone, you're probably wondering what settings you should turn on and turn off. Well, I actually have a bunch of settings on my personal iPhone that I turn on and off every time I get a new iPhone. So to start off, when I get a new iPhone, I actually set it up brand new. I don't transfer over any data besides the data that comes in from iCloud. So that usually means contacts, messages, activity, health, and everything, notes, everything that is synced to my iCloud does come down to my phone, but everything else, my apps, they're all set up brand new. And this is because I actually have apps that either sync to iCloud that I don't really care if I lose the data on, or they're social media apps that I just log back in with my username and I get everything back. And it'll also give me a chance to reevaluate what apps I have on my iPhone. But while I'm doing all this, I also turn off background app refresh. So this is something that I've actually turned off back with the whole iPhone 6s battery issues, back in the day. But to turn this off, you're going to go into settings, general, background app refresh, and you can just turn it off. Or put it on Wi-Fi only. Now, I turn this off because it preserves battery life. That's really it. Because that's what Apple told us to do back in the iPhone 6s, and I basically have done it on every iPhone I've had since then. Now, I do also turn off raise to wake. So, to wake my iPhone up, if I pick it up, it doesn't turn on. Because when Apple first introduced it, I was like, oh, cool, but it just got so annoying because if my phone's on the desk and I'm picking it up and I'm going to do something, I'm most likely not looking at the screen like this, so why do I need to wake it up every time? And now, I can also just tap on the screen to turn it on, which is what I do anyways, and I don't have on the always on display. That's another thing I do turn off, mainly because with an Apple Watch on, everything is here that would be here, so I'm more disconnected from this, as I've actually been able to go whole days without the Apple Watch, with just the Apple Watch, actually. I guess this is one you can turn on and off, which is going to be our segue into what I turn on mainly. I switch the add apps to the home screen to only the app library. So I like my iPhone home screen very simple. I have actually just 2 pages of data. I have my home page, which is the default Apple layout, and then my second page is just 4 apps that I need with my fitness widget, the weather, and as well as some other widgets that rotate through there. Now, what I do turn on is actually a lot, and when I was making this list, I didn't even realize how much I turn on that's not on by default, and I kind of was like, but you added this feature, but don't turn it on. So a big one that I turn on and I absolutely love to use is haptics when unlocking my iPhone. So when I turn on my iPhone and unlock it with Face ID, I get a little vibration confirmation, and I absolutely love this because it's just a little vibration, but it makes a whole difference, and it makes the experience so much better in my opinion, as you get a little confirmation that your phone's unlocked, and you can then just swipe and go into your home screen. To me, because I've had it on for so long now, it does feel weird to have this off. And to turn this on, you're going to want to go into Settings, Accessibility, Face ID and Attention, and then you're going to see Haptic on Successful Authentication. Another thing I turn on is in the App Store settings. So I allow apps to download using cellular data automatically. So instead of getting that a little annoying pop-up that says, this app is over 200 megabytes, are you sure you want to download it? I'm going to download it because I want the app downloaded. I'm on an unlimited data plan. Why am I going to want to, cap myself? Or have to ask. I just find that annoying. Now, I also turn on night shift and dark mode at sunset. So right now it is light out. My iPhone is in light mode. And I actually only used to use dark mode, and then I changed this to just light mode. And then it got kind of annoying at sunset, so I put it on to both of them on schedule. So when the sun sets, my iPhone automatically turns on dark mode and night shift at the same time. So this essentially allows me to wind down and get more accustomed to the darker light, as well as removing the blue light with night shift. Also in settings, I have it announce my calls always. So because my iPhone's on silent, it's not going to announce the calls. But with it always set to announce my calls, it'll announce them when I'm in the car with headphones on, and essentially whenever I can't see my iPhone screen. So you can control it with silent, and my iPhone's always on silent. So I'm not that worried about that setting kind of being in the way. There's also a feature where you can automatically send messages without having to confirm with Siri. So you can say, Siri, send a message to whoever. And it'll automatically be able to send that message without you confirming. And now, in my opinion and my experience, Siri has gotten pretty good at being able to understand and respond to what I'm asking it. So I felt more than comfortable to turn this on, because constantly asking me, you said blah, 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 are you sure you want to send this? Just got annoying. And especially in the car when using CarPlay and stuff like that. It just got to the point where I was like, just send the message. If it's that bad, I'll fix it later. But it 99.9% of the times is not that bad. Now, another thing that for some reason Apple doesn't let you do by default, and the Notes app doesn't even prompt you to do, is lock your Notes app with Face ID. So in the Notes settings on your iPhone, you can turn on to lock with Face ID. So you're gonna go to Notes, you're gonna scroll down, and you're gonna find password, and then you're gonna click use Face ID. And this is something that by default Apple doesn't have turned on, and I think is the biggest annoyance when using it, because you know the feature's there, and it doesn't even ask you to turn it on. At least in my experience, it hasn't asked me to turn it on. I've had to manually turn it on after entering the passcode 100 times, and that's just real annoying when I know you can just look at my face and go. Now, the ability to send text messages from my Mac and my iPhone and my iPads have all been great, but to send SMS messages, not iMessages, regular text messages, the green bubbles, you can only do on an iPhone unless you turn on text message forwarding in Messages settings. So this allows you to pick which devices can do this. So I have it turned on for my iPad and my Mac, so I can send text messages to anyone who may not have an iPhone from that device and allow iCloud to even keep track of these messages, because it's a lot easier for me to just text from whatever device I'm using at that time. I also turn on crossfade in music settings. Now, this is new with iOS 17, and I've actually left it at the default 4 seconds because it's absolutely perfect at 4 seconds in my opinion, as most songs I'm listening to will essentially gradually fade out a little before 4 seconds, and then it'll automatically start into the new song. So I don't have that dead air space like before where I would have to wait and then wait essentially for the next song to start. It'll now just basically start playing the next song, which has been so great. And the fact that it took us iOS 17 to get it is a little too much for me. But overall, those are basically everything I turn on right out of the box when I open my iPhone and I'm downloading my apps, because these settings have made a world of a difference to me when using my iPhone. Now, if you have any specific ones you turn on, let me know with a comment down below, because there are probably so many more settings you could turn on that most people don't know about. And while you're down there, if you want to hit like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that as well, as that lets me know you're enjoying the content that I'm making. And I want you to remember, today's a good day to make a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.